Hey everyone, CJ here. Just wanted to take a look at last week's winners. So we're going to have Bubba Watson over here on the right. I got this from, I guess, Pastime Athletics or something like that. That video. You can kind of pull it down on YouTube, but we just flipped him to make him a righty. The beautiful thing about the tournament there in Arizona is you really had two different types of players. You had Bubba here who, as we all know, Bubba works the ball, hits the ball an absolute mile. Whereas you look at Kevin Stadler here on the left, Kevin Stadler's obviously a different body frame and must use accuracy off the tee to get the job done. Keep putting himself in position. If you watch the tournament, it was definitely a situation where if Kevin Stadler had made a few more putts, he would have won going away. But at the end of the day, winning tournaments always comes down to putting. So let's first talk a little bit about Kevin Stadler and how you can use this with your game. So Mike Adams did some stuff on leverage, arc, and width players, and really just looking at the different body shapes, and that's kind of something we're going to talk about here. If you look at Kevin Stadler here on the left, obviously a lot more girth, bigger barrel-chested than Bubba Watson, where he's going to have to use a lot more leverage, width. So, when you look at Kevin here as he's going back, he's really focusing, especially for us guys that are a little bit bigger, he's really trying to focus on turning that left shoulder behind the ball. Now, I think he would do a better job of this, and this is a few years ago. The new stuff from the last tournament isn't really up on there, but for you guys at home that might be getting a little bit older or a little bit bigger or just don't have flexibility, if you watch Kevin's left knee here, it stays out. So by pointing that left knee, if you look over here at Bubba, by allowing that left knee to turn, that allows you to have a bigger turn. So you can see just the difference in the shoulder turn here, how much more of Bubba we see his, and again, because I've flipped him as to a righty, more of his right shoulder, if you will. And that is simply because he has allowed this left knee to point behind the ball. His left foot comes off the air, similar to Sadlowski, one of the longest hitters on the planet. And that's really what you want to take away from this video, is you want to allow that left knee right here to point behind the ball. That, again, you can see how Bubba has a lot more hip turn even than Kevin Stadler. But again, Kevin Stadler is more of an accuracy player, so he's not turning much. Now they both, if you will, if I put a doorway here, you can see how they both are creating the width, and they're keeping their arms out. Now, having do that, let's just kind of get rid of all these lines here and just kind of explain this. Bubba, being an arc player, as I was saying, Bubba being kind of an arc guy, you can see how much higher he gets his hands. Now again, part of that is just because he's allowed his hips to move, but even still, he's got longer arms. He doesn't have as thick of a chest as Kevin Stadler, so he's going to be able to use that advantage, and that is a key to his distance. When you look at Kevin, he's looking more on accuracy, so he's got the width, he's turned his left shoulder behind it. As he comes down, you can see how much quieter everything looks with his body. As you look with Bubba, you're going to see the left knee still going back as the club's starting to change transition, and then he puts that left heel on the ground. That really gets his hips to open, creates that X factor, if you will, creates a ton of speed. And again, because of the arc that he has the ability to create a lot more club head speed. Now, again, I wish I had Bobby Wilson's swing here on video, because what you'll notice, and I'll make sure I get this, you'll notice that that left foot with Bubba is very similar to Bobby Wilson, who is a long drive champion. So when you look at Kevin, he is covering the ball more. And I'm going to put a couple lines up here just to show you what I mean there. By covering the ball, that's a term we use to really say that your chest gets back on top of the ball. You can see where his head is. Let's look at Bubba here. So, alright, we don't quite have it. We'll just kind of put this line here, kind of symbolizing where his head is. Now look where Bubba is coming down and how much more he is backing out of the shot. So his weight, you could see, is going to be more on his right toe. What that allows him to do is watch the difference in release. And here is a very powerful release. You can see how quickly his right hand has crossed over his left. Now, just watching this as I drag this through, you can see his lower body's in kind of a funny position. But, and it's not ideal, but again, Bubba's kind of his own man. This isn't something that you can really just go out and teach someone. I mean, as we all know, Bubba takes quite a lot of pride in never having taken a lesson or a formal lesson from an instructor. But he's also a guy, too, that when you have that much distance, it's so much, or that much speed, golf's a lot easier if you work the ball so you know which way it's going. And we know that Bubba can hit, 50-yard slices or, and in the case at Augusta, hook a sand wedge 40 yards around a tree. But look at the difference in the release here with Kevin Stadler and Bubba Watson. Two completely different ways to get it done. The video on the right is going to be more of a flip, more of a power swing. The video on the left is going to be more controlled. You can see this nice extension. This is sort of the extension for anyone looking to improve their chipping and pitching. If you had your arms extended like this right through the chipping area, you will improve your chipping dramatically. If you have this through impact of chipping, it wouldn't be very good. So Bubba, if we saw his chip shots, he doesn't flip it like that. This is definitely a driver swing. He's creating as much power as he can. But those are some things you can understand. Control on the left, arms extended. The right hand has not released over as much. Kevin's going to be more of a hitting more of a fade shot. You can really just see how long it's taking for this left hand, that glove hand right here, to cross over. And you can even see kind of within his left elbow how he's holding the shot off, keeping the face from releasing, whereas Bubba has fully released that club and trying to create as much power as he can. So I hope you can learn a lot from this and just understand that, with golf, the beautiful thing is there is more than one way to get the job done. Putting is crucial. We saw that coming in at the end where Stadler missed a few short putts, and then obviously Bubba missed that 5-footer on the 18th hole, which would have sent him into a playoff. But understand, if you are looking to improve your golf game, what you can take away from this is, one, you want to create width in the backswing. All right, whether you're sort of a tall, skinny guy, an arc player in this case, or you're a little bit shorter, a little bit more barrel-chested, you must create width. You need to keep your arms out. We never really want to lose that angle in that right arm. Okay, we want to keep that right arm extended away from our body. If you need more flexibility, point that left knee behind the ball just a little bit. Bubba may be overdoing it just a little bit here for most people. But again, I can't knock what Bubba's done. So please don't write in on the blog and say Bubba's won a major more than I have, because that is true. But again, this is not something you can go teach to the average person. So as we come through here, what we've also learned is how to create extension. That is a great position. You should stop there for chips and or maybe there for pitches, and you will hit a lot more solid pitches. If you want some power, you are going to have to learn to release the club. This is also a great way to stop the slice, but you are going to have to allow that right hand to cross over the left, and that is how you're going to create power and or flipping it, which again will create power, but you lose accuracy. So I hope you've learned a little bit about the golf swing. You've learned, that two guys that go about it completely different in the game. you know, this week Kevin Stadler got him. You know, maybe next week it's Bubba that gets him. But take this for what it is, and I hope you guys learn a lot. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them on the blog, and make sure you like me on Facebook. That's where a lot of my daily video tips. So if you want to learn more about how to improve your game, check out Facebook or check out the Insiders Club. I will talk to you later.